The part of the dark web that we aren't supposed to see. You've heard of the dark web, right? That sketchy place where people buy drugs, stolen data, weapons, whatever. But this was something else. There was no browser. No onion links. No search bar. It started with an email. No subject, no sender, just a block of binary code. I ran it through a decoder. A black terminal popped open with a blinking prompt. Who do you think you are? I typed, curious. It replied, and curiosity is hunger. Let's feed you. A list of folders appeared. Fear. Control. Time. Decay. I clicked on time. Inside was a single file, witness. I opened it. At first it looked like surveillance footage, grainy, time-stamped clips. Some from corner angles on buildings. Others from seemingly impossible perspectives. Like the camera was floating in midair or embedded in reality itself. One clip showed a city I recognized. A man walked calmly into a crowded building. Two sharp flashes, screams, panic. The man walked out with blood on his shirt. I looked at the timestamp. It was dated next week. I thought it was fake. Until I saw another. A girl grabbed off the street in broad daylight. Another. A car slamming into a market, people scattering like ants. The timestamps were all from the future. And then they got stranger. One video showed a hallway twisting at impossible angles. Like reality was folding in on itself. Another had a group of elites in dark robes seated at a massive stone table beneath the ground, symbols etched into the walls. They whispered in a language I've never heard. Their faces were eerily still. Their eyes didn't blink. They just stared into the camera. One clip was just static, but within the static a shape pulsed, human-like, but broken, distorted like it was trying to be human and failing. This wasn't just some archive of future crimes. This was surveillance of something deeper, other dimensions, realities layered over our own, glitches in the fabric of time and space, worlds we weren't meant to see. I saw billionaires floating in weightless chambers, connected to machines that pulsed like artificial hearts, children being escorted into buildings that don't exist on any map, government seals on doors to places the public has never heard of. This was something darker than dark web. It was a shadow network, a record of the unexplainable. Proof of a reality underneath our own, richer, older, and ruled by things that don't sleep. I slammed the laptop shut. I felt sick. That night I dreamt of mirrors reflecting things that weren't there. Of being watched by myself. Of my reflection blinking when I didn't. I tried to forget. I didn't check the laptop the next day. I didn't want to. But then I saw it. A news report. One of the exact events from the videos. Same location. Same people. Same horror. It was happening. I went for a run the next morning to clear my mind. I was halfway through putting on my jacket when I heard a knock at the door. I froze. Another knock. Then 5 more, precise, measured, then a voice. Open up. We know what you did, but we're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk. Their tone wasn't threatening. It was calm. Practiced. I stood there silent before slowly opening the door. 2 men stood in suits, tall, thin, identical black ties. No IDs, just polite smiles. Can we come in? One of them asked. I didn't answer. I just stepped aside. They sat on my couch. I stood across from them, trying to hide how hard my heart was pounding. One of them asked, "What were you looking for?" I said, "I don't know, but I'm not going back." He smiled as if that was the right answer. The other one leaned forward. "Who do you work for?" His tone was colder. I shook my head. No one. I didn't know what I was getting into. They were silent for a moment. Then the first one spoke again. "We're not worried you'll tell anyone. Doubt anybody would believe you." Another smile. "We just wanted to know what your priorities were." I didn't even know what that meant. It didn't feel like a warning. It felt like an evaluation. Then he said, "Just do us one favor and we'll leave." I asked what it was. "Give us the device you used to access it." I didn't argue. I ran upstairs, grabbed the laptop, and handed it to them. As they were about to walk out, one of them turned back and said, "You don't need to be told this, but don't try again. And don't show anyone else how to find it." I nodded. They left. I never saw them again. And I never tried to access that folder again, because I'm not even sure it was a folder. I'm not even sure it was meant for us. The cursed game at my friend's house. Hey, I'm Nate. And if you're watching this, listen closely. Don't ever play the game we found in my friend's basement. It started one Friday night. Me, Jake, Layla, and Ryan were just hanging out, bored. Jake said there was this old box in his basement, covered in dust and weird symbols. His grandpa apparently told him never to touch it, said it was cursed. Of course, we thought it was just some creepy old legend, but we were bored, so we opened it. Inside was this thick wooden board carved with strange markings, a pouch of black tokens, and this yellowed note. It read, "Begin only if you intend to finish. Quitting brings the game into your world." We laughed it off, thought it was a prank, but the second we placed our hands on the board, the room went cold. And I don't mean drafty, I mean ice on your neck cold, with no windows open. The game started by itself. The first task, reveal your worst fear. Weird, but we played along. Then, who do you trust the least? It started getting personal, uncomfortable. Then one card appeared, sacrifice something living. We all froze. Ryan said we needed to stop. But before we could decide, the board started bleeding, from the middle. Actual blood, thick, dark, and slow. The lights cut out. Jake screamed, and when they came back on, his mouth was gone, sealed shut, like skin had just grown over it. We panicked. Tried to burn the board, nothing. Tried to leave the house, but every door just led us back into the basement. We kept playing. Every task got worse until only I was left. Then the final task appeared. End it. That's all it said. No instructions, just 2 words. I stared at it. The room was dead silent except for this low hum, almost like breathing. Then the board moved on its own and spelled, "Run!" The lights flickered again. The walls creaked like something was moving inside them. I didn't wait, I ran, as far and as fast as I could. That was 3 weeks ago. The others are gone, phone's dead, no trace of them. Last night I woke up. The board was back on my bed, clean, reset, the tokens lined up. And carved into the wood were new words. "You can't run from us." I threw it in the river this morning. But I swear, every time I close my eyes, I hear the humming again. I was sent to investigate a family's disappearance in Disneyland. Now I wish I hadn't. I work in security at Disneyland. Used to think it was the happiest place on earth, not anymore. 3 days ago, I got a call from management. Housekeeping had entered a room that should have been vacated, but all the guest stuff was still there, clothes, luggage, snacks, toys. Like they had just stepped out. Next day, still untouched. I pulled the reservation. A family, dad, mom, 2 kids. I called the numbers on file, voicemail. The car they drove in, still in the lot. They'd bought a dining plan. Only used 3 credits. Last one, 2 days after check-in. They had magic bands, Disney's all-in-one trackers. I dug into their FastPass history. Day 1, they stayed in the resort. Day 2, they visited Epcot. Day 3, Magic Kingdom. Breakfast at the park, then a couple of rides. Their last ride was It's a Small World at 11 a.m. Then nothing. I called a buddy in Magic Kingdom security. Asked him to pull the surveillance for It's a Small World. The footage? They scan in. They board the boat. Normal. But when the boat exits, no sign of them. Everyone else gets off. Except the family. We shut the ride down. Lights on, music off. Me and my buddy walked that entire ride 3 times. Then we brought in backup. 10 of us searched. Found nothing, except 3 cell phones and a hat. I couldn't shake it, so I kept digging. And that's when I noticed they had bought the Memory Maker, a photo package that collects every picture. Disney takes a view across the parks. I opened the album. There were 732 pictures. The first 30, totally normal. The rest all from It's a Small World. That ride only takes 1 photo per ride, so 700 times. In the first few, they look confused, then angry, then scared. In photo 40 or so, the dad's gone. Then they're all gone. Then in the next one, they're back, still in the boat, looking terrified. By photo 450, only the mom and kids. The dad slumped in another seat. By 675, just the mom and 1 kid, another body in the seat. The last few, the mom and child, motionless, pale, catatonic. But then I noticed something worse. The dolls in the background, they were moving, in different places, sometimes in the boat. One was right behind the kid. I closed the album, but the file size kept increasing. More photos being added. Then I saw the cops arriving on camera. Finally, but even they won't understand. What's happening here? Disney's going to cover this up like they always do. But I needed to say something before they scrub it clean. They didn't vanish. I know where they are. They never left It's a Small World. And whatever's in there doesn't want to let them go.